In this lesson, we are going to discuss the skills required for the part modeling portion of the CSWA exam, along with how the part modeling questions are presented on the exam. The CSWA certification exam consists of 14 questions, 7 of which will be modeling various parts from basic to intermediate to advanced complexity. The difference between the parts is the number of sketch relations, dimensions, and features. The parts may consist of sketch entities like lines, rectangles, circles and arcs, ellipses, and centerlines. Sketch tools like trim, convert entities, offset, and mirror may also be used. In addition, a complete understanding of sketch relations and dimensions is necessary. Part features may consist of extrudes, revolves, fillets and chamfers, holes, patterns, shells, and reference planes. You also need to be familiar with the different end conditions within the extrude and revolve features like blind, mid-plane, and up to surface. You should also know how to apply material to a part, along with checking the mass properties of a part. When working through the basic, intermediate, and advanced parts, you will be presented with 2 different testing screens. Let's take a look at the first screen. In the upper left corner, you will find the directions for the question, along with the units, precision, material, and a few dimension values. In the upper right corner of the screen, you will see a view of the part you are modeling, along with thumbnail images you can toggle between as you build the part. The part will also include a few dimensional values, which have been replaced with letters, as you can see here with dimensions A, B, and C. The values for these letters are found in the directions area of the screen. The A, B, and C values will change in the next question. Because of this, if you are familiar with SOLIDWORKS equations, this would be a good place to use that skill. If you're not familiar with equations, then you can simply edit the dimension values as needed. You will notice this first testing screen is a multiple choice question. If your answer is not within 1% of one of the choices, you will need to return to SOLIDWORKS and troubleshoot your model. Lastly, in the bottom right corner, you will see the time remaining in minutes and seconds. On the second testing screen, you will modify the part from the previous question based on a few dimensional changes and feature additions or modifications. The primary difference on this screen is the type of question. You will see it is not a multiple choice question, but instead a fill-in-the-blank question. Make sure you carefully type the correct number from the SOLIDWORKS Mass Property screen into this text box. In fact, I recommend you copy and paste the mass from the SOLIDWORKS screen into this box. Before we proceed any further, I think it is important to mention the CSWA exam is not testing over best practices. It is simply checking for the correct answer. Remember, no partial credit is awarded. Your answer is either right or wrong. When modeling the parts, there is no correct method for modeling. As long as you are able to model the parts to the correct answer, your method was a success. With that said, I believe you can model the parts in the CSWA exam quickly and efficiently using best practices. I am a firm believer in fully defining all sketches. I have seen many people fail the exam because they assumed 2 sketch entities were tangent when in fact they were not. It only takes a few seconds to add relations and dimensions to fully define a sketch. Plus, if your mass does not match one of the multiple choice options, a fully defined sketch is easier to troubleshoot as compared to one that is not. I should also mention that many people taking the CSWA exam believe that reading the prints on the testing screen is one of the more challenging aspects. Always remember to model the part assuming the simplest possible geometry. Assume all corners are 90 degrees, all radii are tangent, and all holes extend through the entire part unless otherwise specified with a note or dimension. Now let's walk through the part we see on this screen. This part consists of a few major features: a cylinder, a rectangular feature, another cylinder, along with a feature that extends out the front and the rear of the part. When modeling this part, the best approach is to use sketch entities and features you are familiar with and not to attempt to use an unfamiliar command. For example, if you are weak in equations, do not use equations, but instead edit the dimension values as needed. If you are weak in using the shell feature, you can always resort back to the extruded cut feature. While these alternate approaches are not as efficient, you will find using a command you are not familiar with results in frustration and despair. When modeling the part, create the major features first, followed by the holes, and then fillets and chamfers. One approach is to think like a machinist when creating your part models. With that said, let's go to the SOLIDWORKS screen to see how this part was created. Using the part reviewer to step through the part, we see the part was created with a cylinder first, and then a reference plane, and then a rectangular feature extruded up to surface, followed by the second cylinder, the middle feature, a smaller cylinder, the front feature, and next the holes. And we'll finish up with the fillets. While this approach may not be the most efficient, the approach to this model was methodical and all sketches are fully defined, which resulted in the correct mass. Now let's conclude this lesson and move on to modeling a few parts.